If you have a Bible, I'll be reading from 2 Chronicles chapter 7, and I will begin at verse 12. It reads as follows: Then the Lord appeared to Solomon by night and said to him, I have heard your prayer and have chosen this place for myself as a house of sacrifice. When I shout heaven and there is no rain, or command the locusts to devour the land, or send pestilence among my people, if my people who are called by my name will humble themselves and pray and seek my face and turn from their wicked ways, then I will hear from heaven and will forgive their sin and heal their land. Amen. Amen. Isn't it peculiar that we have found ourselves with the Israelites after David has established the nation and there's peace all around and Solomon is the wisest in the land? In 2 Chronicles, we find ourselves with the word from the Lord to Solomon after the building of the temple. So he tells Solomon, if something bad happens, bad as in if my people cease to do my will and turn away from me, and I respond in a way that they can tell I'm displeased, they have a recourse that will enable them to be restored to my good graces. Amen. And so we find ourselves in 2 Chronicles 7 and 14. How did the Israelites get to this place where these words of Solomon would apply? It's because sometimes as we live this life, we get distracted. Amen. Amen? Amen. Come on now, tell the truth. Amen. We get distracted in this journey called life. So let's go back and see where the Israelites came from. If you turn to Exodus chapter 3, you'll find these words that God told to Moses. And God said to Moses, surely I have seen the oppression of my people who are in Egypt. I've heard their cry because of their taskmasters, for I know their sorrows. God said, I hear you. Sometimes when we're going through things, we cry out to God, and God told them, even as he tells us, that he hears us when we cry out. And when we cry out fervently, God's answer is on the way. Now, some of us want God to answer instantaneously. Yesterday, I think is what we're going. But the truth is that God will answer in God's time, but it will be our time also. We don't know when the best time for our deliverance is to come, but he said he heard the suffering of his people, so he said, I have come down to deliver them out of the hand of the Egyptians and to bring them up from that land, the land of suffering, oppression, pain, and sorrow, to a land that is good and large, to a land flowing with milk and honey, to the place that someone else is living in right now, but the Canaanites, the Hittites, the Amorites, the Perizzites, and the Hivites, and the Jebusites, well, guess what? They shall be displaced. For this is the land that I will give to you. Amen. So now therefore, behold, the cry of the people have come to me, and I have also seen their oppression. So you shall go to them. I'm going to send you. Well, we know what happened after that. We're not going to go into that right now, but it suffices to say that God heard the pain and suffering. God heard the prayer. So often when we're going through something, I've heard people say it over and over again, I prayed and nothing happened. I prayed and I don't think God heard me. And the truth is that God hears us when we pray. Amen. But also the truth is that we don't know what other things are happening in the globe or in the world, that God brings things out to his own time. That's right. We want things at our time. Well, see, you may be praying one thing, and Minister Watts is praying something else, and they may crash. That's right. But God knows when his wish and your prayer come together for a good thing. Amen? Amen? Amen. But we always think we know better than God. I don't know why we think that, but seems to be that we do. But as we know, God delivered them from their oppression, and they got to go out with stuff. They were poor, broke, beaten down. And if you read the scriptures, when the Hebrew children at that time left Egypt, the Egyptians gave them gold and gave them stuff more than they could hardly carry.
Amen.
Because they wanted them to go.
Yes.
Because when God says it's going to happen, he makes the folk who know what. Y'all don't hear me.
Come on, that's right.
When God says it's going to happen, everybody in agreement. They may not be happy, but they will agree. So even the Egyptians said, look, take my stuff with you. Just go. And so here, folks who have been enslaved for 400 years found that they were now free and were going to a land that God had already promised. A large and broad land flowing with milk and honey. Well, that's a good thing. But as you and I both know, the journey from Egypt to the promised land was not without its issues.
That's right.
I don't know. I shouldn't say this right now, but anyway. God wants to deliver you. You pray. Say, God, if you deliver me, I will serve you without question from here on out. How many people say that? Come on now. You found yourself in a bad place. And you say, Lord, yes. Oh Lord, yes. If you hear me, I will do everything. Yeah, you know the end. That's it. You also know that in spite of your claims, we don't always give God our full cooperation, shall we say. That's easy. That's the best way to say it right now. I would say obedience, but that's kind of strong. So we sometimes don't cooperate with the will of God. See, God delivered you from one bad situation. And God set your feet on the right path.
Yes.
And while you were on that path, you saw something you liked.
Yes. Make it clear. Go ahead, make it clear.
Y'all don't hear me. You saw something you liked, or something that caught your eye, or someone. I see, I'm looking at this Alvin, because see, I can't get in trouble with him. And so, on the journey between Egypt and the Promised Land, there were stumbles and fumbles, and it turns out that no one, except for two. Y'all have to read that for yourself, but anyway. I digress. Sometimes we just don't do what we're supposed to do. We get distracted from the way God would take us, where the blessings of God occur. This is what this is all about. That God's desire is to bless us. And our desire is to mess that thing up. And you don't really say that out loud. It's not something you even think, but you say, well, God, can I do this? Or even, you might even say, God understands. Come on now. That's what we say, right, Mr. Locke? God understands. God understands more than we want him to understand. But be that as it may, they come to the border of the land of promise, and rather than just enter the land as God has given instruction, they send in spies to see just how good the land is. Now, was God going to lie? Was God going to give a report that was not true?
No. But
rather, they need to have confirmation, human confirmation, that what God has said is going to be is. And so in Numbers 13 and 26, it says, now they departed, those who had gone into the land and spied it out, came back to Moses and Aaron, and all the congregation in the wilderness of Paran. This is back across the river. They brought back with word of them, all the folk who lived in the land, and to all the congregation. They even brought back some fruit. Then they said this. We went to the land where you sent us. It truly flows with milk and honey. And this is its fruit. Now, it was the picture that we're given is that they plucked a cluster of grapes from a tree.
Yes, it is.
And it was so large, it took 2 men to carry it.
My Lord.
That's the kind of fruit that was growing in the land.
Yes.
So they said, but nevertheless, the people who dwell in the land are strong. The cities are fortified and very large. Moreover, we saw the descendants of Anak there. That is, they saw giants. And they said, we are not able to go up against this people, for they are stronger than us. See, too often when God puts us on the right path, we think we're unable to carry out the will of God, and we complain. Lord, this is just too hard. I can't do this. Can't we do this another way? Y'all. Let's just admit the truth. That God sends us this way. And because it looks difficult, it looks challenging. No, it's not like my brother's way. Let's say it like it is. There's things my brother's doing that I'd like to do. And so the way that God has set me on, it's hard for me to walk. Isn't that right, Brother Esau? My brother out there partying, doing a few other things. And I'm going, gee. And he come back off, oh man, you should have been with me. I don't know, see, this is a story. I had a friend who used to lose weekends. Anybody got a friend like that? Come on now, let's tell the truth. Friday afternoon, they get paid. They go someplace. We won't name any places. And on Monday morning, they come back to work and they say, boy, I had a great weekend. You say, yeah? What you do? You know, I don't remember. So I must have had a good time. Nobody has a friend like that. Amen. I knew a guy didn't come back to Tuesday. I mean, like, he left Friday afternoon. He didn't come back. He said, what happened to you, John? Oh, man, I went over to my house. I got dressed, went out with the boys, and I'm lost from there. But, John, was it a good time? See, I figure if you're going to go out, you ought to have a good time. Make some good memories. Be able to celebrate it down the road, you know, because it was a weekend. John couldn't remember where he slept, who he was with, or how long he was there. Oh, he knew that on Tuesday morning he was in his own bed, and his wife said, get up, it's time to go to work. That's what we consider fun. And that's exactly what will cause us to walk in the way that God has not chosen for us. You know, because we think it's boring. It doesn't mean you can't dance to good music. It does mean you can't get blind. Hello? Now, I don't have to tell you with what. Because all y'all know what I'm talking about. So don't look at me like I'm the only one knows. You know that clear liquid that you need? Yeah. But the truth of the matter is, brothers and sisters, that God calls us to a path where we remember the good times. Where we can celebrate the time we had. Yes. Where there won't be a price to be paid for the good time we had.
That's right.
Most of the time, when we decide what we want to do, which is contrary to the will of God, and go out and do some things that we don't want to do, we find ourselves in a fix. And then we turn around and go, oh God! See, it got quiet in the shower. But see, we usually do that. We decide where we want to go, where we want to be, what we want to do, and then find ourselves in a bad place. and then assume that we should go to God and ask God to deliver us. I say this to you, brothers and sisters. That's not the way God would have it for you. God would have that your path be blessed and anointed with good things. Right. But we so often get distracted. The promise of the land was amazing. But you know what? Even as they crossed over into that land finally, even against some of the advice that they had received, and they saw, yes, the land flowed with milk and honey. Yes, the fruit was large. And yes, those who in the land couldn't defeat them. And they were able to possess it. And so they began to enjoy the land.
Yes.
Well, what happens when things get good to us? What do you say, Sister? Sister Dule has a word. What'd you say? We had too much fun. Have mercy. You hear what she said, right? We have too much fun. And so we find that before they entered the land, I'll go back a little bit and look at Deuteronomy. Because see, God knows us. She said, we say God understands. God really does understand. He knows you better than you know him. Yeah. So he knows what's going to happen with you before you do it. Yeah. And God will warn you before you get it. Y'all, you got to say amen to that. Because you know that's true. Before you go do what you thought you wanted to do, God will say, excuse me. You don't want to do that. I'm not going to tell you what will happen, but I just want you to know it won't be good. So it says in Deuteronomy, beware that you do not forget the Lord your God by keeping his commandments, his judgments, and his statutes, which I command you, lest when you have eaten and are full, have built beautiful houses and dwelt in them, and when your herds and your flocks begin to multiply, your silver and your gold becomes much, and all that you have is multiplied. When your heart is lifted up, and you forget the Lord your God, who brought you out of the land of Egypt, from the house of bondage, who brought you through the wilderness, and on, who fed you, who loved you. Then you say in your heart, verse 17, by my power and the might of my hand have I gained this wealth. It's an amazing thing. We live in a land of self-made men and women. I did it all by myself. Pulled myself up by my bootstraps. Now, I want you to hold on to that thought for a minute, because I've heard that all my life. You're supposed to pull yourself up by your bootstraps. You ever think what that image is like? So you're standing. Well, you've actually fallen, I guess. And in order to get up, you grab the straps of your boots.
Come on, make that clear.
Hello. And you grab those straps and you lift. Now, I'm trying to figure out how you lift. It has never worked for me. As often as I have tried, maybe I'm too big. Maybe I got weak bootstraps. I don't know. But I've always found this better when I reach up my hand and someone else helps me up. And better than that, it's better when that hand comes from God. And then God will sit me on my feet and set me in the right path and on the right way. I find that's best. Because sometimes, yes, I say it in my heart, I got here, I worked real hard. I did it all by myself. Then you walk around and pat yourself on the chest, thinking that you're trying to make yourself feel good. When in truth, every good, every good and perfect gift comes from who? The Lord. Yes. God. It doesn't come from me.
That's right.
Left to my own devices, I mess it up, turn it inside out, trash it, and throw it away. That's how I live. Because I'm human. Human beings are the worst. They their own enemy. You don't need anybody else not to like you. You don't need anybody else to pick on. You don't need anybody else to get in your way. You will do that all by yourself.
Come on.
But God says, if you will walk as I have called you to walk, not only will it be without that kind of contention, but I will be the person who's on your side. And who will go before you and keep all those other knuckleheads off of you.
That's right.
Excuse me, I wasn't supposed to say that.
That's all right.
The other folk who want to get in the way of what God's will is, can they ever succeed?
No.
Amen. Can they ever succeed?
No.
Because when God says yes, the song says, nobody can say no. Amen? That's what it says. Nobody can say no. But Israel said we did it by ourselves. Why? Because we prospered. Anybody in here doing well and found themselves distracted by the prosperity that God has sent? You ask God to bless you. And so for a while you did His will. So He sent good things your way. I've always found when you're doing the will of God, doors open that you had not planned.
Amen.
Opportunities present themselves that you didn't even think about.
That's right.
You'll run into somebody in the supermarket that has a job just for you.
That's right.
You will find that while you're walking down the street, you may say hi to a stranger. And that stranger will somehow, the Spirit will touch their heart, and they'll find out, a conversation will ensue. And a blessing will come to you. Amen? That's what happens when you walk in the will of God. The problem is that as we get prosperous, and as we do well, we wander from the will of God. It's an interesting thing that when we're in bad times, we're in church. Somebody say amen. Hello. When things aren't going well, where you go? Church. You're calling the pastor. You're calling the elders in the church. Trying to find somebody, pray for me. Because I'm having a bad time. But when God brings you through the valley of the shadow of death, when the tough time seems to end, and you get the blessing as you're traveling along. Pastor, you forgot her phone number. The elder, you don't know where they live. When you go to bed at night, all you do is lay down, boom, put your head on the pillow, go to sleep. Forget to pray. Because you have been delivered from the time of trouble. Why? And you say, oh, this is good now. You say, God, I got it. Come on now. Isn't that what we do? It gets good, and you'll say to God, it's okay, God, I got this. I'll call you next time I need you. Have mercy. But the truth is that while we are about doing and handling ourselves, the stuff that we have been blessed with distracts us from God.
Yes, yes.
We are no longer seeking His face. When you were in trouble or when you were sick, they had your Bible nearby. When you were in trouble or when you were sick, there was prayer going on all day long. See, I went down one time. This is some years ago. I was in the pulpit. My heart started racing. And I just had to go, boom, sit down. They called the emergency. They came and got me, rolled me up to the hospital. Turned out I had rapid heart rate. Anybody know what that is? Your heart beat at 180 beats a minute. And you know what they do with that? They do what they do when your heart actually stops. They take those paddles, put them on your chest, and stop your heart. And then, this is what they told me, they started back up again. Well, I'm laying in bed. I said, oh, no. You should have heard me pray. Lord, in the name of Jesus. Deliver your son. I don't really want the heart to stop. What if they mess up and I don't get started? Come on, God. Can we talk about this? And it's all night. night. I barely slept that night. It's early in the morning. It was supposed to happen in the morning, and the nurse comes in, and I remember it was 6:30. She said, let me just check the ring. She said, well, it's still up. Look like it's still on. I said, oh, God. I cried out to the Lord.
Yeah.
Cried out, and it got to be 7 o'clock, and they come in, the folks come in with, well, sir, we're going to put you on the gurney, going to roll you down the hall. I said, oh, Lord, you know, we on good terms, aren't we? So it's 10 minutes after 7. I don't know what held them up. I'm still in the room. Nurse comes in. Let me check just one more time. She checked it, and the heart rate was normal. I said, oh. All right, that's it, now. Let me go. Praise the Lord. You know, that's what it is. That's what happens. You know what it's like? When we're going through those kind of times, we call on God. You know, we like that woman and the judge, you know. The woman that wanted the judge to do something, and the judge would say no, she come back. The judge would say no, she come back. The judge would say no. He said, look, woman, yes, go. Tired of seeing you. I pestered God. And that's what we're pestering God. We stay right on God. So that God will deliver us. But when you're going well, we don't do that. No fervent prayer, no fervent living, no passion for God. We on our own way enjoying quote unquote life. Forgetting why life is good. Why there are blessings in the land of the living. Why there is joy in your life. I have news, brothers and sisters. We can't live like that. When we're doing well, we need to make sure that what brought us to the good, we keep doing. Man was on the television this morning. Jensen Franklin was preaching about being married. And he said, you know, if we did during marriage what we did to get married, all right, come on, we still be married.
That's right. Say that again.
If we did what we did to get married,
that's right,
while we were married, come on, we still be married.
Yes.
But you know, all that courting stuff, you're bringing her flowers and you're taking her out to a nice place and you call her in the middle of the day to say, hi, honey. You know, she feels like she can't, you know, all that stuff you did, you married 3, 4, 5 years, you don't know what a flower is anymore. They done took your phone and you can't make a phone call. You know, you get up in the morning, and you go on about your business. And the marriage goes, shoo, down the tubes. And you want to know what happened. What you did, what, you know, oh, y'all don't hear me.
It's all right.
You got to keep doing what it took to get where you want to go. You got to keep doing it. So God's blessing you. Keep doing what cause God to bless you. For God to make a way for you. For God to open doors for you. You got to keep doing that. Stay in front of the Lord. He can be tired of you. Praise him. I'm glad he's tired of me. I pray to everybody all the time. Because I know what I know, what I know. I know that the only reason I'm having it good right now. Pastor did a funeral yesterday. The lady she funeralized was her age. Younger than that. You know, we don't know the day nor the hour. And here we are. I'm doing so well because God has seen fit to respond to the fervor of the Lord in my heart. I ain't saying I'm perfect. It's just that I am about the Lord's business in my life and in the life of those around me. It does, you know, it's like having, you know, how do you order your life? See, back in the old days, if you ask somebody, you know, what was their purpose in life? Well, I'm a doctor. My purpose in life is to be a doctor. That's what I do. That's who I am. That's how I define myself. Or you ask an engineer, that's how they define it. I'm an engineer. They define their whole being by what they did. But that's not how it's supposed to be.
My Lord.
We need to define ourselves as children of God who do something else. You know, we need Christian engineers.
Yes.
We need good Christian doctors.
Yes.
We need a whole lot of Christian doctors. You know, we want a doctor to pray. If he don't pray, I don't even want to talk to him.
That's right.
Because he didn't connect me.
That's right.
But you need to have folk who know God and who order their lives in such a way when they rise up in the morning, they surround their day with prayer and their lives of prayer.
Yeah.
Then God blesses their efforts that day.
Yeah.
That's what God calls us to do.
Yeah.
The Israelites didn't do that. They forgot. That's what brings us to 2 Chronicles 7 and 14. God prepared the answer before they had even done what they were going to do. He says, "You tell you what you do. When you find that you're in the wrong place, doing the wrong thing, tell them to go to this verse. Humble yourself." So often when we have transgressed against a brother or a sister, we don't want to see them. We can't deal with the confrontation. We don't like to have arguments. It's not about an argument. It's about an apology.
Come on.
Even when you think you're right. Hello. Because you may not be right. Because obviously there's something wrong that happened in between y'all. So you go back and say, "I am sorry that it ended up in this place. Is there some way for us to make peace?" So when you go to God with a humble heart. Not lifting up saying, "I'm upright and I've done everything I'm supposed to do. Why are you doing this to me?" No. When you find yourself on the outs, there's a reason you're on the outs. So you go to God with a heart heavy laden, and you pray and seek God's face. Now you may not hear from God for a minute. You know, God may leave you hanging. Come on now. Somebody say amen. Amen. You haven't prayed in a long time. You say, "Well, Lord, it's me. I know we haven't talked in a while. I've been busy. I'm sorry. But now that things aren't going so good, please, Lord, you just hear my prayer." And you go. It's just like in this room. Because God may not be sure your humility is authentic. Have you truly humbled your heart? Are you truly sorry for what you've been doing? So God just pauses for a while and makes you question yourself. But you keep seeking the face of the Lord. And then while you're seeking the face of God, you know, I've heard over the years, you need to do a 360. Folks don't know, their math is bad. When you do a 360, you keep going the way you've been going. When you really want God to answer your prayer, you check yourself and say, whatever it was I was doing that displeased God, I am going to turn my back on it. Y'all don't hear me.